Welcome everyone to the B-Side Podcast, the podcast where we spotlight the vibe curators, the on-song heroes that turn your regular night out into an unforgettable night. I am DJ Revy B.
And I'm your co-host, Mr. Dre.
This is a bonus episode we're doing for you guys. This is our second bonus episode?
Yep.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 6 for this season, but we love you, so...
I'm supposed to be on vacation.
That's tomorrow. That's starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you know... We spend time together one more time. Fair. Don't act like you're not happy to be here.
I am always happy to break bread and have a conversation.
And we have like guests today.
Two legends.
If
you ask me.
All right. Okay. To my right, we have Aya. Hi, Aya. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Can
How
you
are
tell
you?
the people what you do?
Oh.
Or where you're from?
Just give me ethos. What's your ethos?
Well, my name is Ayodeji. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm a music head to sum it all up, I guess.
Okay. And then we have Emmanuel over to Dre's left.
Hello.
Pound white poppy.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I would say that.
Yeah.
It sounded like there's a backstory to that, so I want to hear it. Why?
Another podcast.
No, right here.
Okay, which part do you want to know? Why?
Yeah, why
I stopped it?
No. Oh no, I wanted to know the meaning behind the nickname.
Oh,
why?
Right. It was a very I think 2019 or so roughly. There was one of those, those makeshift apps that have a trending moment where you're looking for your celebrity lookalike, like those ones that very well that they're not so accurate.
Yeah.
You know? So I decided, just like anyone else, let me throw a selfie on there to see which celebrity would come up. And you would imagine.
Who did you get?
Aubrey.
Really? Aubrey?
Yeah.
Drake?
Exactly. I had that moment too. Like, Drake. And it was an Instagram caption of just me posting the fact that I look like Drake.
Yeah. And then people started.
And then I just, happy.
You went
with the Nigerian version of champagne.
I like it.
But we've since retired. We're still in the process of retiring it.
Okay.
So shout out to SDC. The real.
Yes.
Shout out to them.
I love to say, Deji's out here. Took my head off. Because,
You're now rocking with the SDC. Is the show them cap.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Shout out to my guy Wale. Emmanuel, tell the people what you do. You have a podcast or you have a YouTube.
Yep. Yeah, a few things. I have a YouTube and a podcast community.
Okay.
I don't like to call it a podcast really because it's essentially just a bunch of music heads and fans that get in one space literally on Twitter and we talk about the latest and greatest things and mostly Afrobeats. And it's been fun. It's called Afrobeats to the World.
Okay.
And
to the world.
Yeah, ATTW. And I've been running that with my co-host Bellama, and it's been super fun. But
how long has that been?
We started off Clubhouse essentially.
Yeah.
Clubhouse. The time.
I'm an honorary member. I'm always in the group chat.
Group chat.
Quiet as silent.
Oh yeah. we have so many. But yeah, it's so much fun. I also react and review music on YouTube and Twitch as well. So
Nice. Well, thank you both for being here today.
Thank you.
So let's get into it. First, we're going to talk about all things Afrobeats that happened this year in the Lord's year of 2024, right? In 2024? I was going to say 2022, but you can tell I have not slept. So we're going to talk about all things. But first things first, Whiskid just dropped a new album, right? How are we feeling about it?
Can I sit this one out?
No, you can't sit it out.
Why would you sit it out, Dre?
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So who's
We'll start with Dre, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Just
personally, it's just there for me.
Okay.
There are a few standout songs.
Yeah. I saw you quoting some already on Instagram 2 days after it came out. You were quoting prayers and saying, "My haters will surrender."
You are who? No, please. I don't move like that. No, I have a few standout songs.
Okay.
Like I said, Troubled Minds, Pray.
Okay.
Obviously the ones the singles that followed, the one with Brent Fires.
Yeah.
I like that one.
And Dance.
Yeah, Dance has grown on me actually.
Yeah.
Dance has grown
How
on
was
me.
it in the club?
You know what? They dropped on Friday. They dropped Caramel, and it went crazy.
Yeah, I think that's a big song.
Dance too went crazy.
Yeah, Dance went crazy.
Which other one did they drop? I think it was the only two that they really dropped.
Yeah.
They didn't drop Bend?
No, they didn't drop it.
I don't really like Ben.
Can I confess? That's my worst song.
Same.
I hate it so
Because
much.
he's just bend your body. Bend.
We'll get, but it's interesting that the DJs are not spinning.
It's a Lucy
or
for
at
me.
least maybe that.
Not yet.
That club. Yeah.
It's definitely a Lucy for me. Ben first reaction when I heard it, I'm like, this ain't it.
It's a mockery of old ways though.
Yeah.
I feel like
You think so?
Okay. I don't like that.
How do you feel about the album?
The album, I've been experiencing this album in different
Experience. Are you a Wheezy FC?
different content.
That's a touchy
To be
subject.
honest, it's very touchy.
Is it
Yeah,
touchy?
it's
Why is
very
it touchy?
because
Why is it touchy?
we have our history. I would say
Either you in or you out.
we have
Pick
our
a
history
side.
with the FCs, with the dirty VGs.
Yeah.
But you can be a fan of all of them. You don't have to be
Exactly, that's the beauty.
Yeah, but like that label of the name makes it political.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes it so political. But yeah, I've enjoyed the album a lot more than
Someone said to me that
anticipated.
I'm not in the space, the mental space to enjoy the album.
What does that
What
even
is the
mean?
mental space to enjoy the album?
And that's what I'm going to agree with. I don't know what it means, but that's what I agree with.
How about you, Ayo? How are you
I
feeling about
absolutely
the
loved
album?
it.
You loved it.
Outside of the sonic elements, I think it's sonically excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I also think it's a great album for what it means for Whiskid's journey as an artist.
Okay.
So like entirely, like you said, it's an experience. I guess as we talk deeper and deeper, I'll be able to like explain my major points.
Yeah.
But overall, absolutely.
Yeah, first listen, you're like, this is
Not even my first listen. It took me like 6 listens.
to
say that I like it.
that you liked it. Okay.
Yeah.
Off of first listens for me, I liked it, and I think I just felt like it was off of first listens. I was like, this is way better than his last album.
More Love Less.
Yeah, so it was
The purple one.
that's what I like to call it, the purple album. It was, so for me, off of first listens, it's a better body of work.
Right.
I wouldn't say it's Wizkid's best, because my favorite Wizkid album will still always be Superstar.
Okay.
You can't like
Yeah.
like
No, it's valid. It's valid.
You can't. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll ever. I don't know if he'll ever top Star for me.
Right.
But I do think it was a better body of work than his last one. So I appreciate that. Favorite songs on the album, guy. Dre, you have something to say?
What? We
It's a safe space, Dre.
are we
When
go-
it gets online, I don't know. But
Okay. It looks like
Are we going to?
There's the outlier.
Is there a? No, I'm definitely the outlier.
Yeah.
It's been proven.
I didn't. Go ahead.
Is there? Does Whiskid have a sound that we've coined, or we're just saying Whiskid is Whiskid?
What do you mean?
What do you mean
coins?
sound?
Yeah, like what do you
This
mean?
is where the trouble side. It's like gang of- So if you had to describe the album, what was the most popular genre you'd put it in?
That's the beauty of it, because I feel like in a lot of sense, Made in Lagos established a sonic shift for him. Like even though there were signs of it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it really emphasized it by making a very cohesive effort.
Yeah.
And shout out to P2J, that was a big picture of that evolution.
Right.
So everything post Made in Lagos had been vividly clear where it was sonically, the R&B,
sound of the other side, or
the mellow atmosphere, very luxurious.
She tell me say,
Yeah.
She's always
very
telling him.
luxurious, very laid back.
Yeah.
So we've seen that established in Made in Lagos. And then we saw More Love Less Ego that really attempted to really like pick that going and let that move. But I felt it was a lot more watered down version of Made in Lagos. It felt a lot scantier in a lot of sense.
yeah,
And then there was a fatigue that started to creep in
yeah.
at that point. At that point for Wiz. But the beauty about this album is that he understood and this is my theory, just in my head though. It felt like there was an honest like reflection on where he was and his connection with Nigeria in general. Like sonically speaking, like just culturally, he wasn't really present. He wasn't really like in the middle of and I felt like he really wanted to really go back and essentially reconnect or rekindle that spark that he had with the Nigerian audience. And we saw efforts with
this album.
We saw it with the single. We saw it with Kese Dance. We saw it with just by the mere fact of him being present in Nigeria, even though circumstances, of course, with his late mother had to really get him home. But at the end of the day, I think he really wanted to like awaken a new chapter essentially with his fans. And I thought this album found a sweet balance of that.
But I feel like Whiskid always does that, where this is his second time doing that, right? He tried that with Sounds of the Other Side, and he saw that it wasn't really hidden. And he came back with Soundman and said, okay, you guys want Afrobeats, I'm going to give you Afrobeats. That's so with Soundman that he started again and then slowly tried to bring it back with Made in Lagos and More Love, Less Ego, and saw that it wasn't working again. So now he's back. Because he was, when he first, I know he was online ranting and saying, oh, if you guys want Pakuruma Whiskid, don't listen to this album.
The irony.
Off of there, I knew that he was just trolling because I'm like, what else? What are you going to give us, sir? Dance hall, you're not going to give us soca. So what else are you going to give us?
Well, can I just add, because when you asked the question, you said, are we just giving Whiskid? I want to say yes, because the way this album has been arranged and presented is to kind of what you said, it's different genres, but he does it so seamless. If someone else was to try to execute what Wizkid did, you'd be able to see very clearly where the River Nile and the river, what's the other river? Where the two rivers, you would, split. But here, like, it all blends so well into each other.
And that sequence
isn't that what like Thames also did with her album? Where it was like a mixture of different genres.
That's another good album.
So I missed my train of thought, but I think that I don't know what I was going to say.
Well, we're just asking a question as to whether or not Wizkid has, like, what genre this album was, or what genre Wizkid is singing now.
And
I think it's still heavily Afrobeats. You can say it was a mixture of genres, but it's still the underlying tone is
I think it's still Afrobeats.
Yeah,
I think it's an Afrobeats.
So when you guys say other genres, what other genres were on this album?
R&B.
There's
elements.
Okay, but it wasn't. Was it really R&B, or he just had? So the only song.
Melodies.
No, it was. In my opinion, it was R&B.
It was vibes.
The only like real R&B ish song was the one with Brent Faiyaz. Even the one with Jasmine.
There was the one, the song with Anais was.
There's also time. There's also like. I mean, it was textbook.
Break Me Down is R&B.
It's still like underlay. It's not.
No. I would agree.
It's always been infusion. It's always been infusion.
For me, even I would call it an R&B like full stop.
But there's still like some Afro elements when it comes to like, say, for instance, just the language perspective.
The bounce, the flow.
The flow is his attitude to approach the R&B like thing. And that's why his R&B is unique, I feel.
Yeah, the way I would answer that question is my dad who brought me up on John Legend's music, who brought me up on 2000s R&B, thoroughly enjoys this project.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm able to like draw the connection between what it is and like,
Or your dad tried to be a giant
my dad could probably sit with you and like facilitate out for Gen Z music.
All right. So favorite song on the album?
Slow right now.
Slow. Okay.
100%.
Yep.
Dre.
I think is oh sorry.
Come back to me. I got
Yeah. Please give Dre an AirPod so he can listen to the album again. How about you, Emmanuel?
I think Slow is the best
song on there.
There. But there's other moments I feel that I've somewhat like seen some brilliance in. I think A Million Blessings.
I was going to say
A Million Blessings.
My first favorite song was A Million Blessings.
Yeah. If we're talking about deep, I like A Million Blessings. If we're talking about ratchet, trying to have fun, Bad Girl from Barbados. That's my ish right there.
Yeah.
That song's so bad.
A Million Blessings, yes. Because it proved to me that Whiskey's pen game still there.
Yeah.
That's a diss record.
Million Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's very subtle.
Yeah.
But
This guy was open a can of worms.
it was soft.
It was a soft.
Soft.
This-
It was
Who do you think he was dissing?
Come on.
I don't know. Who was he dissing?
I think it was Terry
Stop
G
opening the
personally.
line.
Oh, really?
I think it was
Because this
Terry
is my
G.
first time hearing that it was a diss record. I just
mean, the
listened. I'm
first
like,
line,
I like
Terry
it.
G.
I was joking. It's being sarcastic. I'm just being sarcastic. 100%.
All right, well,
So
you
if-
guys can
but who do you
speak.
think he was
I
dissing?
edit the podcast.
I will not me. Not on me. I'm not going to be the one to say
okay.
it. Sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's obvious. Like,
No, I actually,
we had
It's just
an
like
entire
saying
episode.
if
I
Ronaldo
actually don't know who he was dissing.
if Ronaldo was to drop a diss track, who do you think it would be
Who?
about?
Exactly.
Ronaldo.
Says Fabregas.
Fair enough.
Mbappe.
DJ Drogba.
So you guys think he was dissing?
Yeah. It doesn't. It's
And like,
needless to say.
it's so funny.
Wait,
like,
why are we scared to name? Say names.
it's not about fear. It's just about like avoiding what doesn't need to happen. You know what I
okay.
mean? Like,
Because you don't know for sure.
Yeah, there's no, like,
you just
yeah.
assume it's a
Yeah,
diss
like
record.
I think it's.
I'm gonna
it
have
was
to go.
motivated.
Yeah, I'm
by
gonna have to
something.
go back and listen to it because I didn't.
It's in the first line.
it's just like so we'll
Hold
tell
on.
you the first
What's
line.
the first line?
You look it up, but it's in the first line.
Yeah.
It's very subtle. You have to like, I guess, have some context and
Yeah.
background to it in order
Yeah.
to really connect the dots. But
Yeah.
And that's part of why I think this album is so good because based on the sequence of events, the statement that this album made was hilarious. Like it's so funny.
What do you
I
think?
haven't seen
What was the
I can
statement?
put you to
that
a tweet that connects to him.
Yeah.
Right, recording.
Yeah, yeah. Because
It
he
says the
probably
competition almost where you did.
yeah.
Plaster stand every day.
Okay, I see.
They're gonna think I'm insane if I really speak on it. I just did my lane. I did pray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a diss track and dress it with like a lot of gratitude to it and make it look like.
And then add alone.
I mean, if you're
Oh
gonna,
no.
but my thing is that if you're going to be on Twitter talking ish every day and
You want them to go for it.
No,
Go
but
for
like,
it.
but
Drop
I'm
the-
sorry.
drop the
If you were in the Twitter fights and you had this album in your draft,
yeah.
excuse me, like nobody can tell me anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to be going fire for fire
Okay,
every
so
single day.
you're that means you're calling this, from what I'm getting, is you're calling this album a classic.
What?
Because you said if you're in a Twitter fight and you have
No,
this in your draft,
no,
you're
I'm
just
saying like this
chilling.
album is
You already
giving, it's
won.
going to give him, yeah, exactly. Like it's going to give
So
me
you're
ginger
assuming you
because I'm
already
sure
won.
100%.
Oh, okay. Because David is about to drop an album in the new year, so
Glory be to God.
we'll see.
Wow.
We'll see.
I'm just gonna put pineapples on your head. Editing this podcast.
We'll see. Okay. Because that you are. From what I'm saying, from what I'm hearing from you, you're calling this album a classic.
I'll
Say
give
with your chest,
it
Aya.
time. No, I'll give it time. I'm not saying it's not a good album.
It's
Enough.
gonna-
It's not good enough.
Expire like juice.
No. I'm saying
getting it wrong.
Actually.
yeah,
It's gonna age
exactly.
well.
I think, but I just think that for something to be called an album, it needs to stand the test of
I
time.
do think
Yeah,
I do think it's going to
Classic
definitely
album.
age well.
I want
for me.
to. The one thing that album did for me was made me realize that Nigerians, our palette has gone for the kind of music that we like. 'Cause when
Yeah.
you dropped the album, I was expecting the diaspora. I understand that, but like Nigerians back home, who all they like is music that just makes them gyrate.
When we're under T-Pain's,
Yeah.
you have to.
No,
So
but
I was
like,
kind of shocked.
I
that
also
everybody,
feel like we don't give the Nigerian listening crowd enough credit because this is a crowd that listens to Two-Face. This is a
Asha.
crowd that listens to Asha.
Do you know the kind of that? Do you know what Nigeria was back then?
No, and that's fine, but music is still what it
Christmas
will
was-
always be. Do you know what I mean?
But
Like,
as much as people, I think with everyone, like music taste is very like with everyone, it's pretty much the same. As much as you want music that is to turn up and have a good time, you also want music that speaks to you.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Like, especially because of the economy and especially
Yeah.
because of the time.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lona.
all right,
Yeah, that part.
one to. You know, we've been trying to do a wellness check on Dre all season. All season.
For real, shout out to Lil.
Shout out to Luna.
My guy has just been dropping hits. Lona, Omale. Red flag.
Keep it pushing.
It's just like when guys, when you see Dre outside, give him a hug. Say, look into his eyes and say, "Brother, how are you doing?"
You can check from the Spotify around. That's why it's actually on my list.
Jonah Lucas. I'm just
Jonah
like,
Lucas.
Yo, it's been a year, man.
You wouldn't,
Bro.
but you can't tell because he's doing this. Then Thursday to Friday, he's jumping on stage up and down like a bunny, like waving flags.
It's a pain era.
Saying we'll pick up the pain on Monday. All right, 1 to 5. What would you rate the album?
1 to 5. It's a decent 4.
It's a decent 4. Okay,
I'll put it on that scale. I like. At the end of the day, people might give him some flack of, I guess, leaving the the traditional sound in lots of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this album, it really balances those scales for me. Especially with just the intro.
That's what I was going to say.
Troubled Mind. Like
it was,
having that snippet of K1 to me, it's just opening up just that traditional shifts that he has had sonically. And him finding a nice balance and sequencing all of that together, like there's a lot of credit to be given here. I
think he started out the way he started off the album with that sample. It gives to people saying, "Oh, you left the traditional song. You can't traditional sound because you can't really say anything if you have with that type of sample." How about you, Ayo?
I will also give it a 4.
4, okay.
Because 5 is for good.
Yeah.
But
on this scale,
but God and shady vibes. Gotta.
Yeah. But like I won't even say that the traditional elements even came in Troubled Mind, in my opinion, because when I first of all heard the snippets there, before thinking about traditionality and everything like that, the first thing I thought about was the significance of that snippet being there. Because first of all, I saw these tweets. Someone was talking about how it was named Morayo, but none of the tracks were kind of like edifying his mom. Yeah. And someone made a joke about like, are you expecting to see Gone Too Soon? Track 1, track 2. So that little snippets played that part. Like he gave tribute to his mom. And secondly, I might be reaching because I do be reaching sometimes when it comes to music. But I think even the whole idea was K1 greeting him. And in Yoruba culture, greetings are very like this is him telling you, you're legends, you people's daddies is greeting me at the start of my album, of my project. Like that's heavy work. Do you know what I mean?
You can start a whole conspiracy theory.
That's fact.
You better big up your king. You better big up your king.
Like, and I'll be honest, like going into this, I'm a Whiskid fan. Like I like Whiskid, but I'm never the type to talk about. No, the truth is, it's funny. Like I've never actually been the one to talk about him because he's so mainstream. So I'm like, okay, Whiskid is good, but the little significances here and there that I heard, for example, Karma, which I think is the more Afrobeats leaning song. Yeah. I think it made a play on Fela and the African 70, the little interlude that came at first. Then the drums, the transition into Kese, because I didn't like Kese at first. I was telling everyone that Kese was Whiskid did not do anything. Like he was just under the beats. But hearing into context of the album,
it felt like a continuation.
It brought like I was telling my friend when the song started, Karama to Kese, I was tasting amala. Like I'm not just like that was my first reaction. I was seeing the woman sharing souvenir. I was hearing somebody fighting with the gates man.
Like wave of caution just hit you, bro.
Do you know what I mean? Like
fighting with the gates man.
I was hearing and feeling all those things. I was smelling things, and so I'm saying for the experience alone, like it had me 100%. So that's why I'm giving it a 4.
Okay. Okay. Dre?
Skip me.
I'm not skipping you.
For the sake of the podcast, skip me. If you're there to cancel us and the podcast, just skip me. What's your own rating?
I want to give it a 4, but I feel like it was a 3.5, so when you round it, it's technically a 4.
All right.
That's Nick.
He said that's
But hey,
3 a.m.
Math is math. But I did really, really enjoy the album, and I am one of those critics where like if you're gonna name an album after your mom,
it was there though.
It was there, subtle moments.
Actually, in every single track there was references.
Yes, but I'm just very like, I want to see growth from Afrobeats. I want to see more substance in the music, and
And you didn't get that from this album. I'm so sorry.
Let me land.
Okay, sorry.
So I don't. Well, when I saw like him naming the album after his mom, I just expected that there would be one song to just like speak to, like he did talk about it in a lot of the songs, but just one song specifically speaking to that. And I had the same thing with David's album, the one where he had his son on, because I'm like, why?
I would even say on that song, I have a friend who's a super emotional person. Mm-hmm. So when the track list dropped and there was a track called "It Pain Me," she was already crying because she was expecting to hear like stuff about his son and stuff.
It was a love song.
It was a love
song. But I think so. I'm a Wizkid fan. I'll always love Wizkid and respect what he's done for Afrobeats.
Me too.
I've been a Wizkid fan since Superstar. Like that album changed my life and my love for Afrobeats. And I am one of the people that is very always hard on him because I feel like he can always do better. And I was happy with this album.
Right.
I still think that he could still do better musically, but I think this was a very good body of work.
Can I put something in perspective for you?
Yeah.
So another thing that's made me appreciate the album is compared to I don't mean to make it like a thing, but like compared to his peers. Yeah. For example, Burna at the peak, I would say, created 2 albums that were very Grammy serving.
Yeah, but that's after he dropped his best album, his best 2 albums.
Yeah. Well, I'm also saying like Whiskid could have very easily gone in that direction as well. Like if he were to drop that right now.
But that's assuming that that's what More Love, Less Ego was not supposed to be, because I think that's what it was supposed to be. It was created for like a Grammy. To be honest, it's not a memorable album for me, so I can't remember it. But I think him doing what he did at the point of his career is not just, I think it's very smart because it's almost looking like he's giving himself a retirement plan. So he can drop music in his 60s, very calm, very simple music, and whoever it is that's a fan now that's going to be carried on into there will be fine. Like he's not going to have to struggle to keep up with the times and be singing like trendy things just to remain relevant. Do you know what I mean? So yes and no, because he still had like trendy songs on there.
I mean, Ja Rule is still performing 20 years later, man.
To your point about the Grammys, because I'm trying to understand if you're saying it that he could have made the Grammy play when it comes to like the traditional everything. But I think like the album did get nominated, made Lagos at least. Get nominated. I think at that point,
that was off the love of SM still.
No, but to be fair, the Grammy category had opened up for a Whiskid, for a Davido to kind of break through, because we saw that with Burna Boy's African Giants and that's the stuff. So I thought naturally Grammys would be open to virtually like any Whiskid album. Yeah. But it's just, I honestly feel the album that followed that, More Love, Less Ego, it didn't hold weight to like really punch there.
Well, what I'm even saying in that regard, I'm so sorry.
I was gonna say that I had this conversation with a friend of, was More Love, Less Ego, was it bad? Or even with this album, one of the things that I think is a missed opportunity is promo, right? I don't.
No, this conversation you're bringing about like it's a good conversation.
It's a good
conversation.
So for me, it's like you dropped this great album. Why put in all this work and you're not barely doing any promo? You're just going off of
the fact. Is this a Morayo or
Morayo
of Wizkid in general? But of Morayo of More Love, Less Ego.
Right.
I think with More Love, Less Ego, as much as it wasn't, we've all agreed that it wasn't a great album. There was no promo to push it.
They made some efforts. I won't say they make any. Barely. They had the Apple Live.
Yeah, but that's
event.
not.
It was very elaborate.
Yeah,
it felt like the same attempt at the YouTube Live. With Lagos. There were some subtle things that they did, but honestly, it's the material.
So that worked. So the Made in Lagos.
The material, like the material wasn't.
No, but so my thing with Wiz is that like you still have to promote. You have to, like, we're in this day and age where there are only a few artists can get away with dropping albums and not promoting them.
He has earned some of that.
He's one of them.
You think so?
He has earned some of that, to be fair. But
you still have to promote your album.
I agree with
you got to promote your work.
Beyonce's still out here. Like I agree, but
subtle.
I don't think Wiz is that guy.
To stay back.
Yeah, just drop it.
Like even if you're not doing like,
I don't encourage you. Trust me, I don't.
Even if you're not doing so, I think even with like Made in Lagos, I think why the whole YouTube thing worked was they had the documentary, so you got to see a little bit of intimate into his life.
Yeah.
Which is what people want. They want to be able to relate to you, right?
That was the greatest piece of,
and that worked because it was also during the pandemic.
Yeah.
It was also during the pandemic, and people were online a lot. Now there's a lot of information. Since Whiskid dropped, Kendrick dropped on the same day. Like there are 500 other music coming out. Like it is easy to forget things. So you have to stay at people's faces.
Right, I agree.
Okay, so two things. Just to clear up that first conversation about like what I meant mostly was how the album felt. Like when Burna's the 2 albums dropped, I felt like he was going for the Grammys.
He was strategic.
But with
it was.
Whiskid, I didn't. Even if he qualified, I didn't feel like it wasn't shouting at me that okay, whether you like it or not, it's for
which one,
Morayo?
Morayo?
Yeah, Morayo and Lagos.
Can we say that Morayo was basically a thing of should I give them what I want now or should I give them a Grammy album?
I have a theory. I know you might not agree, but I honestly
haven't agreed with you since I saw you.
And that's fine. That's fine.
And we don't have to agree.
But I 100% think that Whiskid is in the legendary status of his artistry, where he can do things just because he wants to drop it. Like there doesn't have to be any mind thing behind it of like, oh, what did people want? He can literally just drop it and be like,
or is that how he wants you to make? Is that how he wants to make you feel?
But like that's my theory.
That's how he stands alone, makes you feel like this guy is nonchalant about nothing.
And that's where I was going to tie it into his promotion thing as well. Yeah. While it is good and it's his best practice to promote your things, I don't think everything has to work for every artist. Like if an artist decides not to be like that, if he thinks his music right now is for his fans that will seek him out, then that's him. And 2, I think promo also doesn't always follow the same pattern. Like as a Twitter user, for when I'm a Twitter junkie, there's no day someone is not tweeting about Whiskid. Like it's in my face 24/7.
But
even because it's an incentive.
So
like
an incentive for
my
that.
husband likes to say this thing is that we all live in bubbles when it comes to our
100%. 100%.
So it's because you're too
and that's what I'm saying for me. But like this is also me leaving that space and coming here to talk to you about it. Do you know what I mean? Like he might not be doing the most like, okay, it's always in your face, but in ways they're still promo. And I think artists should be allowed to do things their way.
Yeah. I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm not saying you need to do every interview. I know Whiskid doesn't like doing interviews. That's fine. But there are other ways. There are other different ways to promote your album.
Right.
I know that the money needs to be made.
And
So, no, I had that same frustration too. The week of, at least. I know. Yes, we don't care about numbers and...
Yes, we do.
Just for the sake of how music essentially is being talked about now, people do reference numbers.
Yeah.
It can essentially help in, I guess, letting other people know that, hey, there's something worth checking out in some sense. That's what numbers can communicate to many people.
Yeah.
So I always felt, as a Whiskid fan myself, I felt frustrated that he wasn't putting all the energy on the first week.
Yeah.
For me, it's the first week thing. I had that issue with him, and I even tweeted, some people even like came at me for it.
Because some people just don't like the truth.
But the actual fact of how Whiskid, I mean, he has kind of done it with all the albums, is that he's a very, very post-release kind of guy.
Sure.
And he really wants to stretch the shelf life of this album. So he would drop, say, like he just recently did a surprise Troubled Mind live performance at fashion show. Like for me, that was like, okay, he has started the post-release. Like he has made some form of effort to like remind people that he has an album out.
Yeah.
So, even something as simple as announcing a tour is also promotion.
Yes, announcing the tour as well. Like just having content. Content. Like, did you see the video he dropped recently? Has anyone seen it? Oh, am I too obsessed with Whiskid at this point?
Which one? Oh, the one in the studio and prepared.
The one in the studio with the Jasmine Sullivan record performing out. Like that's what I wanted the week of.
Yeah.
I wanted that energy the week of, but it's coming already. It's starting to do that. And it sucks that he's doing it literally a week after, when I feel his first week numbers could have been like even stronger in the subtle markets he is.
Yeah.
I was just like taken aback from that perspective, is that your first week could have been a lot stronger.
Yeah.
If you tried.
And then another thing I want to see that I didn't see with More Love, Less Ego was he only dropped one video, and that was the one with Ara. And he kind of dropped the album, dropped the video, and that was it. Yeah. It didn't feel like there were other pushes for other singles.
I mean, I think he knew.
Then he decided to go on tour.
To be fair, that was a period a lot of things was going on. Yeah. Apparently. He lost his mom there, and everything got muddy after More Love, Less Ego. Where he canceled the tour.
Purpley.
But
he didn't.
No. Trust me, I understand the material is still the problem. I was still land at that point.
So he canceled the tour. Do you think?
We know why he canceled the tour.
Wait, to her point, right?
Let's get controversial. Do you think Wizkid is ready for an arena tour?
Arena? Huh? Well, I mean,
wait, arena is like Scotia. Yeah. I think so.
Scotia here?
I think so.
Scotia here?
Okay, wait.
Because he canceled 1, 2, 3 times?
I think he
rolling out to make up for it.
No, he did. Make up for what?
So
the headline already loud.
So the history one was because of the pandemic. That one, I believe that was, and I think that was a good move. You sold out 4 dates.
Right.
Why not do that again?
Yeah, I agree.
Why go to Scotia? That was my thing. I was just like,
I agree. And the material did not help.
Yes.
No, I think with proper promotion, I'm not even going to lie. Like,
we just spoke about.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like to her points,
what type
like
of promotion do you think? No, but
Scotia was
for.
Do you know how big Scotia Arena is?
Yeah, I
like not to cover the top layer with black cloth.
Okay, we're not saying he's going to sell. Like, is the question is he going to sell out, or the question can he do it? Those are two different questions.
Can he sell it out?
Does he have to?
That's like
he doesn't have to sell.
So he doesn't have to.
So I feel like if you're going to go to a place like Scotia, you should at least be able to sell 80% of it.
Right.
Right? Yeah. What is a good gauge?
Yeah, 80%, 85 actually.
Yeah, 85. Dre is tough for me.
even from.
Because that 50%, I'm looking at your networking, industry guys, industry folks.
Yeah.
No,
and if Live Nation is involved,
if you're only
media partners,
if you're only selling 50% of Scotia Arena, you shouldn't be doing a concert there.
I honestly feel like we're not maybe I'm overdoing it, but this is someone that has been in demand for 4 years right now. Like at this point now,
but there's still a trust factor there.
There is.
It's not. I don't even think it's a trust factor. It's that you are thinking that so. Yes, there's been an influx of Nigerians in the past few years.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're that much Nigerians enough for Wizkid to sell out Scotia. The only way...
And it's also depending on the price.
Price and the only way...
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Wasn't Ashake close to selling out?
No, sweetie.
Again, I don't know.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. Let's not go there.
I think a lot of it goes back to, I guess, the network...
I hate that we're all industry guys and we all have bad stories.
No, we have
our faces.
But to be honest, like I think it goes back to who you're working with with this show.
Yeah.
Like
I think if properly packaged, he can. Like in my opinion,
I think that in order for it to work, it has to be the only Canadian show.
Right.
In all of Canada.
Okay.
So people can actually maybe fans can yes. So if you do, let's say you do Toronto, don't do anything in Montreal, don't do anything in Ottawa, do Edmonton. Yeah. So people in Ottawa, people in Montreal can come down for it.
What Ashake
no, but like this is how I'm imagining it. Imagine if it was promoted where the
imagination.
I want to say millennials, but that's not my word. Like
I want to ask. Sorry, I want to ask. Is there a white audience for Morayo? First of all,
Yes.
I'm
That's what I'm going to say. Yes, there is. 100%.
I'm not asking us, but like
There is?
1000%. There's Brent. There's Jasmine.
So like
Brent
my
and
point
Jasmine are R&B singers.
Yes, but
who have their markets. Also don't forget
First of all,
that
Jasmine
the same
was
people that
at
went for
History.
and it was
the same people that went for Thames to sing
Essence,
they're the ones that are going to come for the show.
Thames was at History, and when I went to see
but
Thames
like,
at History,
it was
very diverse, and it was mostly white people.
R&B.
And these are Whiskid. One thing I think would be an advantage for Whiskid in this sense is he's gone through different eras. So if parts of the promotion is for like, which I was going to say millennials, and they sell that more era, and they're telling these people, I'm gonna come back and feel that more era.
Yeah.
And they're also marketing to people that grew with him in Ayo. And then they're now marketing to Made in Lagos listeners. Right. They're marketing to the people that he's collabed with. He did a collab on the Beyonce project. Mm-hmm. He's worked on the one for the movie soundtrack for Bob Marley. Yeah. If they promote it in all these senses to all these audiences, I think he can pull a good enough crowd.
No,
that's the question.
And I'm asking. I wasn't asking as per like to like as a diss or a jab. I was asking because I legitimately want to know if there's a diverse audience because we know that Burna Boys is
Whiskid. There is a diverse audience for Whiskid.
I think he has the strongest catalog in terms of collaborations yet. The people he's collaborated with have such strong audiences.
Yeah, but because of the lack thereof of the marketing sense, we tend to forget all these things.
I do agree with that.
Yeah, he needs to close some gaps.
There's also an important piece that's missing with arena tours is your opening acts. So what I'm finding with these Afrobeats artists is that everybody wants to do an arena tour, but they don't have opening acts. Mm-hmm. They just want to say, oh, I sold out Madison Square Garden by myself. But why aren't we all going on tour together? I come from the age where Ja Rule, DMX, Jay-Z were all on tour together doing arenas. Right. There is the freaking Millennium Tour where Bow Wow and Omarion, B2K and them, they're still touring off of that same tour.
Can I try and guess why?
It's an ego thing.
No, I don't even think it is.
It's an ego thing.
I don't think it's an ego thing. I think it's because we are just understanding structure in the industry now. Before you get everyone's teams together, before you get things properly documented and things like that, I think those things pose risks for collaborations on that scale. Because sometimes even on something as simple as a feature, you're hearing stories, Yeah,
but it's industry, but like people are gonna fight. There's fights backstage all the time on tours. As long as you're on stage, you punch me. As long as they call my name and I'm on stage when I'm supposed to be, that's
So bottom line is you believe Whiskid needs an opener.
Yeah, like there's no reason why him, Rema, Thames is not a tour thing.
Can I also give you that in that situation of Whiskid, Rema, and Thames?
Or like if we're trying to make it more R&B, like Wizkid, Brent Faiyaz, and somebody else, or
fair enough.
I did the same record label.
A dancehall,
sold the record label
maybe. Yeah, it's also a record label. A dancehall singer, R&B singer, up and coming, and maybe another Afrobeats up and coming artist, or just on the cusp, and then him.
Well, I think with all these artists that you've mentioned, and just how we see artists and their personalities, I don't think Whiskid is even the example to this case because okay, I've heard this at the side. I'm not going to act like I just came up with this, but someone broke down a theory for me that Whiskid will never be the one to hop on a new act's shine. Like he won't do, for example, do a Rema and Whiskid song right now because it's like, okay, Rema's moments. Again, this is not me bringing up my.
But that's also, it's the way you see it for him, Whiskid, because I'm not seeing it as if you're going on tour with Rema, I'm not seeing that Whiskid hopping on Rema's shine. I'm seeing it more like, oh, I'm taking him under my wings. Right?
No, we're saying the same thing. Like he doesn't want to come out. Don't let me say he doesn't want to come out like I'm his therapist, but if it was to come out in a few years, it's not be like, oh, Rema got here because of Whiskid's hopping or Whiskid's code joint tour with him.
But Whiskid was significant to Thames.
Yeah.
But like that's what I'm saying for the opening acts of like, let him carry Rema, let's carry Charlie Poppy, let him carry these people. He's just not the person.
He does that in O2.
But I just feel like I feel like it's a missed opportunity for someone like him and Thames not to be on tour together. Because they have one of their biggest,
but again, what if they can
literally be ending the show with every single night?
What if they're different artist paths? what if they don't align like
timelines?
Their timelines. What if a collaboration doesn't align in their individual journeys at that point in time?
There's no way Thames can't go on tour right now again.
Yeah.
Because we should just again, it's a co-headline tour or a headliner and supporting act. She can benefit off that.
Yeah.
They both can.
Oh, I think collaboration in many instances is always beneficial. I agree with you, but the question that comes to the necessity of it is like, it would be nice. Trust me, I believe a Thames and Whiskid tour would be amazing, just culturally and everything.
Yeah.
But I think the focus of Whiskid in general ought to be like, it just has to be his direct message to the specific like
audience
city that he's going for. Like if a city, for instance, that needs a quote unquote diverse audience, he doesn't need to, how will I sum up this point now? He doesn't need to like, it's Whiskid at the end of the day. Like that's how I actually want to approach the instance, because it's a status thing for many of them.
Exactly.
And ego comes into play, and the names that you're mentioning are headliners. And I feel for a Scotia magnitude,
but they're headliners in their own different sub.
But again, let's look at past questions.
Yeah.
How many people have success? I think there was a Shalipope and Odumudu one.
That didn't happen.
We know why that didn't happen.
Okay.
We know why it didn't happen.
But that's what I'm saying. I think is the issue is that people like our artists in Afrobeats artists aren't coming together and saying they're going on tour. They're not cohesively working together and doing that tour. Yeah. Like I saw like Ruga came. Yeah. Then
Ruga and
Benson came, and I'm like, don't y'all that's a joint album.
That one made all the sense in the world. They literally have a project together. They had a project together.
Why are you struggling over here and he's struggling over here? Like, why not bring our fans together?
These guys are in a competition in terms of status and posturing in many instances. Egos are so big. Yeah.
Again,
even just from looking at the pay splits and who's going in front of who.
That's the issue.
Hearing all these stories,
you literally,
these guys.
But you literally,
you realize that they're no friends in the industry.
But then it comes to you have to think about it like, okay, what am I doing this for? Am I doing this to appease my ego, or because I love it, or because I want to make money? And then when it comes to opening, closing, like you literally can take turns. Like it's an easy thing. Right. Like you close out in this city, I do that city. It's not. I
honestly wish that it was this simple. Like even, and I'm not even saying I know any of these people, but working in industry regularly, you see how difficult it can be to work with.
Yes.
It's
so like
I agree.
Just like scheduling this recording. Where are you available? Where are you available? When is here?
So some of them might even have attempted it and they've been beaten beaten twice shy type of situation, and they're not willing, because we know what it is to work with.
Yes.
Bleep. And it could get to a level where they even like collaborating with some people, working with some people will leave you high and dry.
There are people I've worked with that I know that I'll never work with again.
Yeah. So maybe a lot of them are just seeing the risk. Of mine
that like, because I've worked in corporate settings,
right,
I don't have to like you to work with you. If I know you can get something done, you can get it done.
No, aside liking self, like it's down to businesses, like business structures. Yeah. How does this person have integrity? Will this person not cheat me? Like it's down to those little things.
But that's where like management and labels come into play.
Which is what we've just started building, in my opinion. Structure, music industry structure is just starting to become like a proper thing in Nigeria. Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm still like, I don't really think
this thing for a long time, man. It started to sound like Edmonton.
You've been moving.
That's so real. That's so
You've been moving.
I wish Taylor Swift did her concert in Eglinton. Maybe they would have spent on construction. Because
that's a good one.